It's definitely nice driving a convertible in Southern California. What's up guys, my name is Tim and I've been fixing BMWs for over a decade now, and if you've been following the channel for a little while, this is the 328 convertible project that I bought a few months back. So here's the final update, the car is ready to go, let's get to it. Just listen to this. The car is finally running absolutely fine, just the way it should be. No weird noises, no vibrations, everything is great. Before we start and I tell you the whole story of the car, what it took for me to fix it and how much it actually cost, I want to remind you guys about the membership program. If you have trouble with your car, you can become a member of the channel and have time one-on-one with me so I can deal with your problems, your car problems directly. I can navigate you. Of course, it's not guaranteed that I'm gonna solve everything for you, but at least you have someone to talk to and I can explain to you things, what's happening to your car based on the data you provide to me. So become a member, or if you just want to support the channel, do that. So let me tell you a little bit about this car. Initially, I came to fix this car. I've been called by a customer. He wanted me to replace the valve cover and the rear pads. When I came over there, the car's been sitting for a while, like in terrible condition. When I inspected the car, I found out more issues, and that not necessarily the valve cover needed to be replaced, and of course the rear brakes, but also I found the front brakes, this and that, so everything. And I made an offer to buy the car off because he was looking to sell the car after repairs, but I advised him that's like, look, we're gonna do those repairs and it's not necessarily the end of the story, so it might be much more than that. And turned out it was much more than that. So I got the car for $2,500, so that's the initial purchase price. And I started to investigate what happened there. First, when I got the car to my garage, I started investigating what's making the car running lean. I got the codes for running lean conditions, and also I had the codes for secondary air injection problems, but that was none of my concern. So before I got the car, I got some history, what has been replaced, what has been done and everything. So I saw the belt has been replaced, and the tensioner. So I asked why is that, and I got the answer that the belt shredded and it got replaced by a shop. For some odd reason, they replaced just the tensioner, not the idler pulley and the belt. But the problem was, like, I didn't see much shreds around the engine bay. That was one of my concerns, because if you know, sometimes when the BMW belt shreds, it gets sucked into to the oil pan through the front crankshaft seal. So that happens. Well, I left it at that. I looked at the valve cover, oil filter housing, nothing there. So the first thing I did, I decided to let's just take apart the intake manifold and all the components in there and just go through it, because I also had the codes for the DISA valve. DISA valve can make the engine run weird, let's put it this way. It would sound like it's running lean, but it's rare in my opinion. I haven't seen it much, but it happens. So I took apart everything, intake manifold and all the DISA valves, and I found the DISA valves obviously broken. So that was a fun part. I got to the junkyard and I just got another DISA valve. I took it apart from one of the cars, and instead of paying $400, I paid $32 for this DISA valve, and it's working till this day perfectly fine. So after the intake manifold shenanigans, let's put it this way, and I put a price tag on it, about $500. In the end of the video, I'll do the full breakdown exactly how much everything costs. So during the intake manifold shenanigans, I replaced DISA valve, intake manifold gasket, the crankcase ventilation hose, the PCV valve that was in there, PCV valve heating element, let's put it this way, and air filter, of course. So all of those things have been replaced, put the car back together, and it was kind of fine. The way the car was acting was, it was running good with the AC on, let's say. It still was running lean. It was showing that it was running lean, but it was running okay. It was holding idle good. And if you turn the AC off, the idle will go up and down every 40 seconds, let's put it this way. When I measured the mass airflow, it was 3-4 kilograms an hour less than it's supposed to be. And you might think, a lot of people do, that, oh, the mass airflow is just measuring incorrectly, that's why. But it's actually not true. I see very rarely the problems with the mass airflow sensors on N51 and 52 engines, and when the mass airflow says the amount of air coming through, let's say it's 12 kilograms an hour when it's supposed to be 15, what happens is you have an air leak somewhere after mass airflow sensor, and the engine sucks the air in. So the engine will suck exactly the same amount of air as it needs, but since it's getting it from somewhere else outside the point of entry, which is measured by mass airflow, it will be, so the amount it sucks in minus the amount it needs, and then you get the measurement from the mass airflow. So that's how it works. And of course, but to be clear, I did test the mass airflow. I got it from the donor car, knowing working cars, swapped it out, and exactly the same measurement. So it was a quick and easy thing to do. So I'm like, whatever, let's try it. The next thing I did is replacing the oil pan. The leak was severe. Oil pan gasket, let me clarify that. And I wanted to see what's happening underneath in there. So that was that's a long and heavy job sort of thing. It's just, it takes a while, especially if you film it. The video is somewhere here. I'll put the link, DIY how to do that. So after replacing the oil pan, test the car again. It runs good, but it's the same thing. There's still an air leak. And what I found, and I already knew, because what I found in the sump of the oil pan, I mean oil sump, it's shreds of the belt, a lot of them. So it's a lot of the, I was surprised how the car made it without suffering the oil pressure loss, because I never got the warning, and those cars are, if there is a oil pressure loss, the car will tell you. It's like simple as that. So that was interesting to me, because the oil pump sump was like full of belt shreds. So I cleaned it all out, put it back together, new seal, new oil, everything, and I knew like the next step would be front crankshaft seal. But before I did that, I did the smoke test, and it revealed to me the obvious thing, of course, that the front crankshaft seal is damaged and needs to be replaced. So the next video is front crankshaft seal replacement video right here, DIY how to do that, what tools you need, and everything to do. So and that was the last video on this project. In between, I also replaced the front shocks and shock mounts and control arms. So this is also a video somewhere on the screen. I'll link everything below in the description, so you don't have to go and search for it. But a few previous videos on this channel, it's all about this car. Of course, after replacing the front crankshaft seal, the car ran absolutely beautiful. It runs good now, everything is fine. And now we have to address the issue, because the check engine light is still on. Why is it on? Secondary air injection, insufficient flow, bank 2. How do you solve that? Well, since it's only bank 2 and not both banks, I didn't blame the secondary air injection pump, and I just blamed the carbon buildup. So that's what I figured is the issue. And I went to my smog guy and I just asked him, like, hey, look, how would you go about it and cleaning it out? And he told me, like, nothing you can do, really. So I just armed myself with a few cans of brake cleaner and removed the secondary air injection valve and just dumped the whole thing in there. Then I removed the hose from the secondary air injection pump, filled it up with the brake cleaner again, and through my scanner I manually activated it to pump air into the engine, so it pumped fluid basically, creating a little bit of pressure. You can use the air as a pressure and just put it in there. So what happened is, like, I cleaned it, cleared it, drove for a bit, it came back, drove for more, it stayed there, cleared it again, drove again, it came back and then didn't clear it, drove the car and it cleared itself. So that's what happens sometimes with some codes that need to be self-cleared, especially for the smog. This is N51 engine. After that, basically what I was doing those couple months, well, first of all, you guys gotta understand, I'm a mechanic first. I fix cars, BMWs specifically, and then YouTube content creator second. So it's been a bit busy. And what I was doing with this car, well, first of all, I've been driving it here and there to test out, to see like what other failures can happen. So, and everything turns out to be good, but I was doing the little bit of a body work. This is something I have never done before. So I bought everything to kind of color correct the car, because the damages to the paint were severe. It's like especially the trunk and the roof. Nothing I could do with the roof, but right now you can see like the way the car looks. Like this is night and day from what I had when I got it. And it's like, if you guys want to see all the products I used, because I have no idea about color correction and everything, so I went to the store and asked for advice and they gave me everything I need, and from there I started to kind of exploring and seeing like what works, what doesn't. So if you want me to list the products on what I used exactly to color correct this car, just comment below. Basically I'll pin the comment with it if it's necessary, if it's like somewhere on the top. Considering all that has been done to this car, the most labor intensive for me was actually doing the body work, because you spend with the amount of damage it had, like I had to spend a couple hours on every element, and if you combine all the elements together, it's like that's a lot. And some of them I had to do twice. It's like it's a learning curve, like how the hands work and everything, how the machine works. And I also didn't get the best machine, so it was something cheap because I didn't want to spend much money on it. So yeah, this is it. The car runs great, and I want to show you something that is kind of controversial.
Waiting for Perry.
So here's what I want you to see, guys. No warning lights. It's a 174,000 mile car. Everything works here. And why is this controversial? Because a lot of BMW owners have a Christmas tree on their dashboard and they just say like, oh, that's just a BMW thing. Not really. This is a 17-year-old car in the proper hands. It's running great and it doesn't have any warning lights. So that's how it's supposed to be. Pretty much every BMW I ever owned always been like this. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the mileage. So here's the promise breakdown. We'll start with what it would cost you if you would hire me to fix this car for you. Front and rear pads, $640, parts and labor total. Front shocks and mounts, $700. Front crankshaft seal, $540, parts and labor total. Oil pan gasket is $1250, parts and labor total. There's also been a coolant leak. This is a Mickey Mouse hose. It's a cylinder head to thermostat. This one is $280, parts and labor total. And intake manifold shenanigans, like everything that I did there, is like I would guesstimate at about $500. There is also control arms replacement. That is like, I'd say about $700, parts and labor total. So it brings us to the total of about $4,600 to do everything that I did, not including the body work. Combine it with the $2,500 purchase price, and it brings us to the price of about $7,000. Is it worth it? Maybe. It's a great car. but I don't know. So let's go and check out how much it cost in parts only. So here's the list of all the parts that went into this car. It's definitely nice driving a convertible in Southern California. Something about it was driving with your top down. It's like it's a different sort of feeling. I've driven many cars, and every time I drive a convertible, it's like it's a special feeling. Let's put it this way. And the car runs beautiful, fully controllable. Everything works. No weird sounds. Nothing at all. I love the result of it. It's a great car. Turned out very good. So this is it, guys. This is what everything went into this car. Of course, I skipped the moments where I took the interior apart to clean it up and find a lot of French fries and the chicken bone. That was a funny part of it. But yeah, I took it off, cleaned it all out, put it back together. It's not worth really mentioning. Funny enough story that the previous owner of this car wants to buy it off of me. I don't know if he will or will not, but we'll see, you know. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and stay tuned for the next project, guys. Drop a like, share, subscribe. Thank you.